muscadine jelly today. Muscadine jelly, also some people will call them scuppernogs. It's kind of depending on the variety of muscadine that you grow, but it's basically a wild grape. Well, they're cultivated now, but they originate and grow mainly in the southern United States where it's warm and humid. And my husband today, me and my husband picked 28 cups of there were 28 cups. 3 cups of the muscadine grapes from the vine. And we have a lot more left on the vine, but we're gonna make wine out of those next. So today we're just gonna do the jelly. Buddy. Say hi. And my recipe calls for 7 cups at a time, but I'm going to try to double it and do 14 and 14 and just see how it goes. It's going to be a lot of jelly because each 7 cup recipe I think makes like 8 to 9 quarts maybe, or pints. But what you're going to need is sugar, a pectin, a fruit pectin. I have a low or no sugar needed pectin, basically because we're going to add in 7 cups of sugar, white granulated sugar, and then the natural sugars from the grapes. So we don't need any extra added pectin, but this is just going to help it gel and not be so liquidy. So let's get started. I'm just going to go ahead and measure out 14 cups in this pot of grapes, and then we're going to add in our water, and we're going to boil this down for 10 minutes. Okay, I did 7 cups and the pot's halfway full about, so I'm gonna add in the next 7. Hopefully they all fit. Yeah, this is gonna be tough, but we will try. We'll try and see how it works out. Okay, and now I'm gonna need to add 6 cups of water to this, so let me go ahead and add that. This is super full, and I'm probably going to regret it because when I start mashing this and it's boiling and everything, I'm gonna need a bigger pot. I would use this pot, but it's for my it's for canning, so I don't want to get it all dirty and sticky, so we'll just try it out with this one, see how it goes. So I'm gonna turn my stove on high, and then once this comes to a boil, I'm gonna set the timer for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, I'm gonna start mashing the grapes and just try to release all of the juices on the inside. Muscadine grapes, something different about these. First of all, these variety are pretty big. They're like a little tiny plum, really. But they're not like your typical grape. When you bite into one of these, you don't really eat the skin and their seeds inside. The skin's very, very tough. But it's the inside of the grape that you really like to have. And some of them almost give you like a tingling or an itching sensation around your lips and your tongue sometimes. Just kind of depends on the variety. These, if you eat a lot of them, they will, but not as much as like a wild muscadine will. But I don't know if you can see this, and I'm probably gonna squirt it, but, oh yeah. So you just basically pop it out, and that is the, I'm dripping everywhere. That is the pulp inside, that's the part that you eat. And you can kind of see in that dark center that there's a seed in there, and you just spit that out, but these are really good. when I go on my walks, I will, I mean, you can see the empty casing here. You just throw that away. Looks like a little Pac-Man. Normally when I go on my walks and I pass our muscadine vine, I just got done with the walk, by the way, so that's why I look the way I do. So excuse the way I look. Luna, no, we're not going outside, it's dark. I'll just grab a handful of these and take them on my walk with me or my run or whatever, and they're super good, very sweet. So, I'll let this come to the boil and then I'll mash it and I'll come back to you. All right, welcome back. So we have boiled this for 10 minutes and it stopped, and then at the end I went ahead and started mashing this with a potato masher, just to break up all of the pulp inside, and just get it all broken up, and so the juices are completely released. Very, very hot. And I just am gonna give this a couple more mashes, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna strain it. And what I've got set up here is, I'll put it down, but this is what I have. I have a piece of cheesecloth, which I'm running out, but normally I would probably double up or even triple up on it, but I'm just gonna leave it like this, because most of the pieces are pretty big. I'm not gonna have to strain anything super fine. But then it goes through this strainer and then this strainer, which is, I use a lot of this stuff for my honey. So this is a super fine strainer. So it's gonna go through 3 different straining processes here to get out all the seeds and stems, if there's any left on them, and the outer skin of the grape. So, and it'll just basically have the juice, and then we will let that juice completely strain for the next maybe like hour or so. And then once we have just the juice, we're gonna add enough water to make it 5 cups. So if your juice at the end doesn't equal 5 cups, you just add a little bit until it does equal 5 cups. And then I'll show you where we go from there. Okay, so while this is straining, which looks like a crazy mess, I'm gonna start on my second round of 14 cups of muscadine grapes. And I think I told you wrong because I'm doubling this recipe. Well, I'm quadrupling this recipe, but these are 2 double batches, and I need to end up with 10 cups of juice. So whatever is left over with this, I would add enough water to equal 10 cups of juice to this, and same with here. So we're gonna let this strain, and just to clarify, we have 7 cups of muscadines to 6 cups of water, and then I'll mash it and strain it just like this one, and we should end up with, well, combined 20 cups of juice, and then we'll take it from there with our next step with the pectin and the sugar, and then we'll can them. Right now I've got my all my different size jars, pints, quarts, little bitties, in the dishwasher. That's the way I'm going to sanitize them, so that I'm not having multiple boiling pots. I could boil them, but dishwasher, get that going and just run a quick cycle to sanitize them, the lids and the rings and the jars. And then that way I'll just ladle the finished jelly or jam in the jars, and then we'll water bath them for 5 minutes, and then they'll be good to go. So just stay tuned for the next steps. Okay, so now I've got my double batch. The second batch is straining over here, and I've added my 10 cups of juice. Actually, after it drained, I got 8 cups of actual juice, and then I added 2 cups of water to make it 10 cups of grape juice or muscadine juice. And now I'm going to bring this to a boil, and as soon as it starts to boil, I'm going to add my pectin. Because I'm doubling this recipe, I'm going to add 12 tablespoons of pectin to this. And then I'm going to return that to a boil, and then I'm going to immediately add, this is going to sound crazy, 14 cups of sugar. 14 cups. This is one part of it, and this is the other because I didn't have enough bowls to fit it all in there. So 14 cups of sugar, and this is why jelly is unhealthy for you. But nonetheless, it's delicious, and we're gonna eat it anyway. So we're gonna let this come to a boil, and then I'm gonna add my pectin, and then I'm gonna add my sugar, and I'm gonna stir that for about a minute, and then I'm gonna take it off the heat. You need to really carefully watch your pot because it can definitely just boil over, and it would be horrible for you. So I'm just gonna bring this to a boil, and then I will see you at the next step. Okay, so I've got my muscadine juice coming to a rolling boil right now, and I have pre-measured out in a cup 12 tablespoons of my pectin. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here now, and I'm going to whisk it pretty good. Another ingredient I'm about to add is a little something you probably seems maybe a little bit odd, and it's optional, but it definitely helps with because your juice will start to foam, so it will help with the foaming, and it's butter. So I'm going to take a teaspoon of unsalted butter and just put it in here. Oh, yep, it's coming. It is coming up. So this teaspoon of butter is going to definitely help. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add in my sugar quickly. Let me reduce this heat real quick. So it is like doubled in size, and I really hope that all the sugar makes it in the pot because it is rising pretty fast. Then I'm going to whisk. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Yeah. That is a lot of sugar. And I'm going to bring this back to a boil. It is thick. I need all this sugar to dissolve. As soon as this comes to a boil, I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute. And after 1 minute, I'm going to take it off of the heat, and then it will be ready to ladle into our clean jars for the water bath. We'll give you an arm workout. It's really thickening up. All right, till the next step. We're almost finished. I've got my pot, or my canning pot here, and I've got my jars that I've sanitized, and they're warm, which is really important that you remember to make sure that your jars are warm and not cold when you add the hot liquid and you put them in to start them boiling, because they can crack. So they're warm from the dishwasher. What I'm going to go ahead to do is start to ladle my jelly mixture into my jars here, and I've got several different sizes. I've got these little guys. They have a wide mouth lid that goes to them. I have these. These are really great for gift giving. So I'm gonna start filling these up here. Put these out on my stove, and I'm gonna fill them up almost to there's a 1/4 inch of space at the top, head space at the top. And then I've got my lids down here, which you can't see, but they're sitting out ready for them. And I've got my caps. And you just want to make sure that you inspect this lid, that the rubber seal is what's going to keep your preserves preserved. So there's no air that can get in there, because this essentially, the seal will suction to the glass when it's in the water bath for 5 minutes and completely keep your food safe and free of any bacteria. That's why it's very important that you sanitize and you wash everything while you're doing canned goods, because you don't want to have any sort of bacteria getting inside your food. And then I'll also screw on this top lid with this lid in it to secure it. And you're not going to want to over tighten it, just enough to where it's holding down this lid pretty snugly. And then submerge it in water. So the water, you're going to have about 2 inches of water over the tallest jar. And then we're going to boil that for 5 minutes and then take them out and then let them sit on the counter for about 24 hours to fully set up. So let's just get to it. A couple tools that I'm going to use right now. This is a funnel. I've cleaned it out, but I'm going to funnel. It just makes it easier to put it in your jar like this and then funnel the jelly into it this way so you don't make a big mess. And I have my ladle, so we'll do that now. Pretty hot, but this is what it's gonna look like here. It's looking like jelly. It smells like jelly. I've even tasted it. It tastes like jelly. It tastes really good. So I'm just gonna take a clean paper towel and I'm gonna run, be careful, this is very, very hot. It's like boiling jelly in this thing, so the glass is extremely hot. So I'm gonna run my paper towel over the top of the lid so that there's no moisture or water that can get in the way of my lid here. So I'm going to do the same, just because I just washed these so they are a little bit wet. But I'm going to dry off this lid and then I'm going to pop it on top here. You can't see anything I'm doing, I know you can't. I'm going to put it on top just like that. And then I'm going to find a seal. Ouch, so hot. And I'm going to just screw this down. Not super tight. And there you go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it in my pot here. There's no water in it yet, so I'm going to fill it all up and then I'm going to pour water on top of it to make sure that it's all covered evenly. So I'm going to start doing all the others and then I will get back to you. Look in the pantry. Okay. I've had this in a water bath now with a rolling boil for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to take them out and then I'm going to put my next batch in. To take them out, I'm going to use my taker outer. That's not what its technical name is, but that's what I call it. And it's specifically designed for mason jars, and canning. So I'm just going to get that little guy out and I'm going to set it down over here. And then as soon as I set it down, I'm not going to touch it again for 24 hours. I want to let it give a second to just gel and cool off completely and let the seal suction down. So when you are doing this yourself, when they start to cool off, you may hear some popping noises, and that's just the top of the lid suctioning down. Now tomorrow after 24 hours, if there are some lids that you can press and they kind of pop up and down, that means that there was not a good seal made. So not to say that the jelly is bad, you just need to stick it in the fridge and use it pretty quickly. The others you can store for a year or two. So just make sure you put a date on it so you know exactly when they were canned. But I will continue to take these out. Oh, you hear it? It's a good sign. So that batch made 7 jars in all shapes and sizes. And I'm going to go ahead now that my water is boiling over here. These jars that I filled up are still really hot with the jelly, so I'm not going to worry about them breaking in the water bath because I know that actually my pot here is a little wonky. Let's see if I can fix it. So, and that is it, guys. So thanks for watching, and my jars have already started to seal, so that's a great sign. And then I will be able to share these with my friends and family, and they make great gifts, and they're just pretty simple to make. A lot of simple ingredients that you can find at your grocery store. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just give me a holler. The pectin, you can substitute it with unflavored gelatin. So if you don't have fruit pectin, there are substitutions for that. But thanks for watching.